What's up, YouTube family? It's Andrea here at VW Family Farm, and we left off yesterday wrapping up the garden recap of what we liked from last year, and I told you I was going to do another quick video today of some plans we have for this next year. I didn't do it all at one time because I didn't want it to be just one big super long boring video, but I hope that you mark some of those things down that we talked about yesterday and that you are seed shopping and making plans to get you some seeds, because this is the fun time of year to plan for the 2020 garden and to think about what all you're going to grow, be gathering information from people who have already grown stuff and what they said they liked and didn't like and why, and just to be honest, to take that with a grain of salt. Maybe the reason they didn't like it, maybe you will like it, things like that. So I hope you're making plans. We are going to go live later this week. This is Christmas week, and we will be giving away some Baker Creek whole seed catalogs and some gift certificates to go with it. So if you win the catalog, you will win some money to shop in that catalog. So be watching for that. Be brushing up on old videos. It will probably involve some trivia questions, so be watching for that. But let's talk today about some things we have planned to grow this next year. We have been perusing this whole seed catalog and we've picked some things out, and so I want to share those with y'all. We are, number one, I'm gonna grow this. I am gonna grow some Chinese celery, pink celery. I have tried and failed because I started too late last year. I am determined to grow celery, and not just celery, pink celery. I want to grow these. I think they are the cutest things. They are called the Richmond green apple cucumber, and they're super cute for one, and they're very sweet tasting, and they're bitter free. That's another thing I told you on the last video that we have to look for in cucumbers. I don't grow all bitter free varieties because I do grow just classic varieties that are good for pickling, but I do want some that are surefire bitter free for fresh eating. And then I have to just try to keep an eye on the ones that I'm canning and pick them very small when it gets really hot. It's not an issue until it gets really hot around here, and then we start getting bitter cucumbers. Also these, the Mexican sour gherkin. How cute are those? I actually have eaten these at Jess and Jeremiah's house. I mean, she was picking them by the bowlfuls, and they are super good just to pop in your mouth for a snack. They're cucumber-ish, but they have a little lemon flavor. They're just really unique, and they're really good, especially for a good snack food. Next thing, and this came highly recommended from Kevin and Sarah when we were up there, is the Rocky Top lettuce salad mix. So it's got all these different greens in one package, and I'm really excited to try to grow that. I love salad. I've told y'all that before, so that will definitely be in my garden this year. Okay, another thing highly recommended from Kevin and Sarah, they actually grew it this past year and they gave us one, is the Ajvarsky pepper. I hope y'all can see that. They're beautiful, deep red, waxy looking peppers. They're super good for grilling, and they're like 6 or 7 inches long. They're a large pepper. So I'm definitely gonna grow those. I'm looking to get into more peppers this year. So that's one of the ones I'm gonna grow. And then another one is this Lisa pepper. You saw that Ben has some tiny little plants growing in the greenhouse of these. These were growing everywhere when we were up at Baker Creek in one designated area, obviously, but there was tons of them. They were growing them out for seed, and they were beautiful. And they are believed to be the sweetest pepper with the thickest flesh, and they are definitely that. We are super excited about growing those. That's one of the things we're looking forward to. Okay, last pepper is this Lutenschauer paprika. This is actually from Hungary, so this is gonna be a medium to hot pepper, but I'm gonna use it to grow and grind for paprika. It's a paprika pepper. And they're kind of hard to find outside of Hungary, but I am going to get that one. I'm gonna grow it. They're really good for smoking and drying and grinding because they have a thin flesh, and so that will dry out really well, and then you can grind them up into powder. I'm not generally a fan of really hot things, but I feel like if it's a powder like paprika powder, you can control how much of that you put on your food. So paprika has just been a goal of mine for a few years to try to make, so I'm really excited about that. Couple more things. I am determined to grow some herbal teas. This is chamomile, and I've tried that before and had moderate success, but I would like to grow a lot of chamomile because I love chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is really good for calming, settling down at night, and just things like stress, and if you're just overdoing it, it's just good to help you just chill out a little bit. So I love chamomile tea, and so that's another goal of mine, is to try to grow that. Baker Creek has all kinds of herbs, herb seeds, as well as vegetables and things like that, fruit and all that. They do so much more than just what you typically think of, like tomato and lettuce and all that. They have about every herb you can think of in their store. So that's really good, because sometimes those are hard to get your hands on. And then you can grow your own herbal teas, herbal remedies. You can do all of that yourself and save so much money if you have just a little space to plant some herbs. Okay, and last thing I'm gonna show you out of this catalog is the Abe Lincoln tomato. I am a sucker for big tomatoes. I love them like that. I love them if they, like, one slice covers the whole sandwich. That is my type of tomato. I like the cute little ones that you stand in the garden and eat. I love all those kinds too. And on the last video, I talked to you about paste tomatoes and stuff, but those are for the purposes, to me, of canning. The ones I love for just pure enjoyment are the big, juicy, just giant tomatoes. Those are just so awesome to me. And to see how big they can get is just pretty exciting and challenging and pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to be growing. And this variety has actually been shown to be pretty disease resistant. So that's really good things to look for when you're into organic gardening. Because when you start thinking about organic gardening, you're not just going to go out there and spray Sevin Dust and all kinds of chemicals on it, just every pest that pops up. So the more things you can grow that have shown to kind of resist those things on their own, the better. Okay, so a couple more things we have planned for this coming year that are really exciting. Towards the end of the year last year, we started using some things from Haas Tools. So I'm really excited this next year. They actually have seeds as well. So I'm excited to give some of theirs a try. Because we planted some in the fall garden and they did excellent. This Bright Light Swiss chard, it did amazing. It got huge and it was really beautiful. It had all the different stem colors on it, which I do like some color. And then we actually also grew this under the floating row cover, the Butter Crunch lettuce, and I was a big fan of it. It had a really nice flavor. Like the name says, Butter Crunch. It was kind of crunchy and I just really liked it. I want to give these little yellow pear tomatoes a try from them. Those look like something fun to snack on. And Ben is a really big fan of yellow and orange tomatoes. He is the one that likes all the different kinds of stuff. I'm more like functional, practical. He's more the one that's like into like, I know it sounds weird, but he's the one that's more into like the beauty and like, oh, that's cool, and I really like the way that looks and the story behind it. And so I try to pause and recognize those things too. And I think this little yellow pear tomato will be a really cool one to grow. And then I told you on the last video that we've always grown kohlrabi from Baker Creek, but I am gonna grow and give Haas Tools a try too. I'm gonna grow Baker Creek's and Haas Tools. And then we also got some broccoli and cauliflower from them. So I'm gonna give those a try this spring. We start planting things pretty early in the spring here. And especially with the floating row cover, that's gonna be a game changer for us for sure. We found that out this fall. It's December, it's almost Christmas. And we still have cabbages and lettuces and things thriving under that thing because they're not just constantly getting frosted on. They can take the cold here. They just can't take getting frozen and frosted on night after night. So that's some of the things, not to mention Haas Tools also really, like their name says, they have some awesome tools. That plow, high arch wheel hoe plow thing that they sent us is awesome. Especially like if you've already got your ground worked up, we've always struggled to find equipment that will like throw some dirt on rows because there's things that you have to keep adding dirt on top of, like potatoes. And we needed our garlic, the dirt kind of washed away from it because we had like monsoon rains after I planted it. That thing is awesome for hilling up some dirt on stuff that you need to, or for plowing, or for making a furrow, or just whatever you need. There's so many attachments. So if you're interested in any of that, there's a link to Haas Tools down below. And then, like I mentioned, the floating row cover, I just can't tell y'all enough about that, because we've struggled for years and years and years trying to grow organically, but battling pests. And we've tried to not do it, and then all of our like spring and fall vegetables especially would just be eaten up with holes from worms, from the cabbage moths laying eggs and then those turning into worms that just fill your vegetables. And this floating row cover, I don't know why we didn't think of it sooner, but it has just solved the problem. It prevents the cabbage moths from being able to land on them, therefore they're not laying eggs on there. And so it's just amazing. I just can't tell y'all enough about it. And that's from Grower Solution. And there's a link below to them as well as a coupon. So if you're looking to purchase some things for this next summer, use that coupon, save yourself some money. And we're actually gonna be trying some ground cover, the woven ground cover from Grower Solution as well. We tried the tarps and the billboards last year, which was free and very frugal, but water did not go through them, and some of the things just needed more water than what they got. So we are gonna try the woven ground cover from Grower Solution, and that's our plan. I hope y'all are making plans. I hope on these cold, rainy days that you're cuddled up with your seed magazine and dreaming of your garden, because it will be here before we know it. And if you're like me, just try to enjoy these days of not as much outside hot physical work to do, and just let your body rest a little bit. And be watching for a live, because I really want to give y'all some stuff. So be watching old videos, and we will see you guys later. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. We love and appreciate y'all, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Y'all have sent us some of the sweetest Christmas cards, and I am so thankful. I will see you guys later. God bless.